Hey, how's it going? This is Alex with Detroit Moped Works. Today we're going to go over switching out your starter clutch cable on a Puch ZA50. I'm also going to explain to you how the mechanism works. So a lot of people think that because there's a whole bunch of gears in action in here that you need to take the cover off to switch the cable. You in fact do not. I'm going to first explain to you how it works, and then we'll bounce back over and switch the cable real quick. But basically, you've got all your transmission gears. You can pedal the bike or push it. That's going to turn your rear wheel, turns the chain, turns the sprocket, turns all your gears, turns this little plate, right? So in order to start the bike, this little plate has to turn the crankshaft. How that happens is that this right here has got a spline which sits on the crankshaft. It's also got, I guess, a friction material on here. So as this is spinning, you pull this cable out, it pushes this out, which pushes this friction material against this plate, and again starts turning the crankshaft. So how that mechanism looks on the inside is you're pulling on the cable, it moves this little guy out on this gear, and again this pushes outwards. These balls turn within there, friction material, this, rest of your drive starts your motor. Okay, so a lot of people think, again, that because it's coming out of the case that you need to open up the case to get into it. Also, they are very intimidated by it because of all this action that's in here. In fact, you do not have to do that. You can just take off this little piece of plastic, which is kind of like your cable stay. It's to hold your cable in place. And then you've got this here. A lot of people think this looks like one piece. It looks like a step-down cast piece, and it is in fact two separate pieces. So we're going to go here and just turn it loose. 11 millimeter on the larger part, 10 millimeter on the smaller part. So you just go ahead and turn that loose. The cable that comes in it looks kind of like a little bit of a fatter version of a throttle cable. Looks a little bit like a bicycle clutch cable. In reality, you can use basically any old cable. We like to use these bicycle style brake cables, also going to be the same brake cable that you use on a Tomos or Italian bike. So pretty straightforward. You just thread that, or just slide that through there. That fits deep back down in there. Thread it as far as you can with your little fingers. Let's see what we're doing here on video. Getting used to this. I'm not quite used to it yet, but tighten this against itself. Get it nice and tight in there. Then with that there, you slide a little piece of plastic that we had initially removed back onto it. Sits in place. Then you're going to slide your cable back into the housing. A lot of times we'll reuse the stock housing because it's in place. It's the correct length. It goes into your starter clutch up at your control. So get that through there, easy peasy. And you slide that into your control and cut off the excess. So again, pretty straightforward. No need to take the cover off of it. The other thing that I will warn people about, caution people about, is that within this mechanism, let me go ahead and take this whole thing out to show you how it's set up. Okay. Not working at the best angle because I'm trying to show you guys this here, but that's all right. All right, out of there. So that's not the exciting part. What I'm trying to show you guys here is that not only are you threading that top bit into this piece, but also this lower portion, the cast portion, is also threaded into there. And for some reason, I actually don't quite understand what it is, but if you've got this either threaded too far into there or not far enough into there, this plastic guy will not reach out far enough to actuate this. So a lot of times what you'll get is people will they'll do a perfect job, they'll reshim everything, they'll get their motor perfect, put everything back together, and because they've turned this, either too far or not far enough in. They'll go to start the bike and they'll be getting full resistance and it'll feel like the clutch is actuating, but in fact, I think what happens is it actually hits this nub up here. You know, so you are pulling it to the full tension that you can get, but you're not able to force the friction material against the plate to start the bike. So that's kind of, you know, besides this being easy and not as scary as people think, you want to keep an eye on this because a lot of times people will rebuild their whole motor, think that something's gone drastically awry, rebuild the transmission 2 or 3 times thinking that the shimming in it is wrong, and it's in fact just this little guy being either too loose or too tight in there. So hopefully this information helped you out, and we'll see you on the next video.